Hi, Sibs.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for willing to do this, Bo.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
I've been wanting to say this, but I've been getting to know more about you since Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop, and and ever since that, I've been getting to know more about you and your voices. And to tell you the truth, back then I never knew what anime was back then when I first seen Naruto and Digimon and stuff. But by the
Mhm.
time the show One Punch Man appeared before me, I discovered what anime was and who the voice actors are. That's when I discovered everybody, including you, Bo.
All right. Well, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah. But anyway, I got many questions I've been wanting to ask you.
Okay.
Tell me, how's it like being a voice actor in many animated shows?
Well, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. My career started on camera, and I was an on-camera actor, and then I was asked to do some. I'm segueing into how I got into voice work, right? I was asked to dub some foreign live-action films. Like there would be a German film with an African character, and we would dub it into English. And it was an on camera gig, but we were dubbing the voices into English. And one day, um, and I would do like a general African accent, like a Nigerian, like I am from Nigeria, and I would be doing an accent like this. And and then one day, the producer asked me if I wanted to do some anime, and I said, "Sure, what's anime?" And so he explained it to me. He said, "Yeah, I'd love to do that." And that's how I got involved in anime voice acting.
To be honest with you, I was gonna ask you the question about how is it that you got into voice acting, but since you told me yourself that a director brought to ask you about doing anime,
Hmm.
that that is something I'm beginning to understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest with you, I did take a lot of voice acting classes, and
Oh, you have. Huh?
I even graduated one. I officially became a voice actor myself. The only goal to do is to get into more projects and stuff. Because when I get into a lot of commercials or whatever projects to help to so I can post it on my social media, only then will I get the chance to get myself into an anime or video game. Just like
Hmm.
I just like I told the others, which to tell you the truth, a lot of voice actors all believe that I have the potential to work with them in the industry, but most importantly, to connect with them. Even you, Bo.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I wish you a lot of luck with that. I don't know if you've been auditioning much lately. Have you been?
Well, to tell you the truth, a few months ago, I actually auditioned for this commercial I managed to show on my Facebook, and it's involving like three things actually, which the truth is I am just looking for more opportunities because right now I got a lot of voice acting equipment set up and just learning how to set up Pro Tools and Audacity so that I can just work on my demos and everything. So
Okay.
that's something I'm trying to do there.
Sounds like
But
you're on a good path.
thank you, Bo. I appreciate it. But anyway, about the questions about your characters. But in the show, what was your first ever character you get to play as an animation way before you got into many others?
Um,
Like, think of it as like what you told me before that a director wanted you to get into an anime. So,
mhm.
what was that anime that you were
It's
brought
it's
into before others?
it's hard for me to recall. It might have been Legend of Black Heaven. I'm not really sure if you're familiar with that.
Legend
Uh,
of Black Heaven, you say?
yeah, it might be that,
Interesting.
but I'm not really sure. But Legend of Black Heaven, I voiced the lead character was OG, and he was an office worker in Japan during the daytime, and at night he was saving the universe with his music. He was a rock musician, so I was going saving the universe. But I'm not sure if that was the first one or not. But that was one of my earlier animes.
Interesting. I'm I'm just trying to make sure I know about what your first ever character is. Because if I'm not mistaken, from the website called Behind the Voice Actors, it believes down to 1990 is where you did Manx Mouse, right?
Oh,
Which in
okay.
turn could be your first ever voice acting gig. Am I
Maybe that
correct?
was it. What was the name of that again?
Manx Mouse. If you look up Behind the Voice Actors in your profile, you'll see it right there.
Ming's Mouse. Okay.
You play Captain Hawk from what I could tell.
Captain
So
Hawk. Okay, that's vaguely familiar. But of course, that was, 10, 20, 30, 34 years ago.
y you are correct about that. I'm just trying to make sure I get it correct because
Hmm.
all I know is that in case if I ever do a voice showcase for you, which I will be eventually over for a few months or so, it will all be in chronological order about evolutionizing each of the voice actors, just like I've done it for others for the past 2 years, like I did for Keith David through Jason Isaacs, even of course the deceased Billy Komet, which I made that video about as a way to get everybody's support to help him be remembered, which I
Hmm.
did, including Bill Butts, of course.
Hmm.
And I'm glad everybody supported me on this.
Yeah, it's nice to get the support of our voice actor community. We're pretty, generally speaking, we're pretty supportive of each other.
Well, I'm glad that you are just being too kind, you know? And
Hmm.
that's what I love about you and everybody else. But anyway, back on my topics of the characters, but in the show Bleach, what was your favorite part about playing Erdred Lionis, one of the Grimjow's, how do I say it? Like the Arankar. Yes, that was it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just like the quality of his character. It was one of those characters that I was able to get out of myself, so to speak.
Yes, that is very nice actually. Because I've
Mhm.
seen the show Bleach, and
Mhm.
you did a magnificent performance being that character, especially when you bring the heat up upon the character Ikaku who you got to battle against. And
Yeah.
and it's pretty amazing how the director was able to bring you in, especially
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
get to be in many stuff.
Right. I was very lucky. I felt very fortunate to be part of Bleach.
Indeed, which has been very popular over the years. Which right now they're doing the current season of Thousand Year Blood War, which an old friend of mine, Richard Abkar, is in.
Hmm.
He's a friend of mine actually, who's been supporting me for almost like how do I say this? Like 2 years. Yes, 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 two
Oh,
years.
nice. Well, Richard's a great guy, and it's
In
nice that you have his support.
and that's why I've interviewed him 1 year ago because of him being the awesome guy who's just love being there for everybody, even
Yeah.
you, Boo. Ah, Bo, I meant.
Well,
Ah,
all right.
ah.
That's all right. No worries.
To tell you the truth, I have autism, and I just had trouble t getting problems with names sometimes. Which I did the same thing to Kyle Aber, which he corrected me on this, and man, it's all going to plan. But anyway, back on my topics. But how does it feel about playing Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop?
Oh, well, it's awesome. I feel very fortunate to be part of the Bebop family. We did the series in 1998, and then we did the movie. I think it was around 2000. And yeah, it's great. And we're still a family. We text with each other, the four main members of the cast, Steve Bloom and Wendy Lee and Melissa, um, and myself. And as a matter of fact, this coming weekend, Melissa and Wendy Lee and I will be at Connecticut in Hartford, Connecticut. The three of
In
us will be together.
Interesting.
Mhm.
That's what you like about being that character in the show. Honestly, Jet Black is like the iconic character who's like very good at just being himself, you know? Just wanted to make sure he just makes the right choices, you know? And Mary Elizabeth McGlenn, the director, Steve Bloom's wife, I'm glad that she brought you in there, you know? And it's super amazing how the show has been very popular over the years. And that's why I give you my props for Jet Black.
Well, thank you very much, Sibs. I appreciate that.
Well, it's what I do best, you know? Just like I've said it to Tom Fon and even to Wendy Lee, who I got to meet with 1 year ago. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But anyway, how does it feel about playing the character Ben Jackson in Tiger and Bunny?
Oh, Ben was great. He was kind of a mentor. Yeah, I really enjoyed Ben. He was a fun character to voice.
Nice. Because I've seen the show Tiger and Bunny and it's super amazing actually. And your character got to speak with Wally Wengert's character, you know, and
Yeah.
even got to see Yuri Lowenthal and Dave Wintenberg right there. Well,
Hmm.
that was before in season two is where your character is played by your successor, Bill Butts,
Yeah.
which Bill Butts is literally a big fan of you, you know? It's
Mm.
like I just feel like that you're the reason why he is motivated into getting into a lot of things, you know, because of you just showing a lot of inspiration in him. So that's why I started to notice that right there.
I see. Yeah, Bill is a great guy. We're good friends, and I enjoy his work. He's a wonderful voice actor.
Indeed. Which, to be honest, really do like to interview him so that I can get to know him well, since I
Hmm.
literally got to meet with his friends in person, you know, which is super
Hmm.
amazing.
Hmm.
But anyway, what's so awesome about playing the character Barrett Wallace in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children?
Well, it was great, you know. I had a lot of fun voicing Barrett, you know. I'll kill you with my arm, you know. Yeah, he's a bad mofo, as we say.
Bad mofo, you say.
Yeah.
Quite fascinating right there. Because Final Fantasy has been going on for years, and you playing in that movie alongside Dirge of Cerberus was actually successful, you know? Which yet
Hmm.
again, it is very cool how you get to be alongside with Steve Byrne and trying to battle against my good friends Steve Staley, Fred Tatasciore, and of course Dave Wintenberg. Before,
Hmm.
you know, Steve Byrne fight against George Newbern, the guy who does
Hmm.
Sephiroth. That was
Well,
before what?
you know
Oh,
your stuff. You know your stuff.
well, that's because I met Steve 2 years ago, and he's been a big fan of me ever since. Seeing
Okay.
my Instagram stories, supporting my videos I made for not just him, but for you too, and just do a lot of good stuff.
Mm,
And
yeah, I'm glad you're doing that, and I wish you a lot of luck with that.
that's the intention right there, you know.
Hmm.
Well, Well, just put it simply, your character Barrett Wallace is like a badass, you know, just
Yeah.
doing a lot of good stuff, you know. That was
Mhm.
before he in the remake is he is played by your another successor of yours, John Eric Bentley, which
Yeah.
to tell you the truth, he sounded a lot like you when trying to impersonate you, but even but in a slight better way, you know, just by opening himself to the your mode right there.
Yeah, I think he does a great job.
Indeed, he does. But anyway, what's the most awesome thing when playing Ogremon in Digimon?
Well, I enjoyed the fact that o Ogremon originally started out as a bad guy, and then he turned into a good guy. And he was like, "Where are those cats? Where are those cats?" And his battles with Leomon.
Oh, you know, I wanted to say this, but a friend of mine who I got to interview with a few months ago, Paul St. Peter, actually told me the same words that you told me about his character going bad, but then he gone good.
Mm.
And you saying that kind of reminds me about what he said,
Yeah.
which honestly, you playing Ogremon is like a very cool thing, especially when you got to be with a lot of Digimon family right there, including the ones I got to meet, like in person, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and even I got to meet Kirk Thornton himself, which he's
Oh, you
super
did. You
cool,
did.
actually.
Hmm.
And most importantly, you got to be with my two good friends and fans of mine, Tom Fawn and Dorothy Fawn, big supporters
Yeah.
of me.
Yeah, it's we had a great group of actors who were in that show, and we're all basically friends. Kurt and Tommy and his Dorothy. Yeah, we have kind of we have a nice voiceover community.
How fascinating of you. And that's what I love about being in the community. But anyway, what's the coolest thing when you got to be in Goichi Harama in Rurouni Kenshin?
Yeah, when I had that battle and I got beat up, he kicked me in my nuggets and broke my thumb. Right? Yeah, that was very interesting to get beaten up by 11 or 12-year old, right?
Well, that's very nice to see because
Yeah.
Rurouni Kenshin has been going on, because to put it simply, I've actually seen the voice comparison, like two dubbings actually. One is the one where Richard Apcar did back then, and that other one is Bang Zoom, which you got to play the other one. And right now, the current one is Bang Zoom still, but in the 2023 one, which your character, on the other hand, is played by another actor named Jason Markamaya. I'm trying to get his name right, but still, he just very did a good job trying to sound like you, but
Sound
different.
like me as Gohai, huh?
Yeah, but I enjoy Rurouni Kenshin because of the because of everybody, including you, Beau.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a once again that's a great show. It was a lot of fun doing it, and it's nice that they brought it back.
Yeah, it is very nice, actually. The remake, to be more precise. But
Hmm.
anyway, what's so cool when you got to be in Outlaw Star as the narrator?
Yeah, the narrator that was a wonderful role, and I when I go to conventions, I get quite a few comments about that monologue in which he says, "A boy has a right to dream," and I have one regret about that is that it says a boy and it doesn't include the girl. So um, I would like to have had them write it like a person has a right to dream or a child has a right to dream, as opposed to just saying a boy, because that, as I said, that eliminated the girls.
Wow, I I didn't know that. I didn't know that until you told me right there. But
Mm,
Beau, I'm actually glad you told me because I've seen Outlaw Star right there, and your monologue right there is like a very cool thing. It's no
mm,
wonder why it ended up being part of the Toonami promos back then, right when Peter Cullen was the narrator of the entire Toonami before the current one where Steve Bloom is doing is just with a newer one right there. Just
hmm.
letting you know because I've seen it in the YouTube video. So yeah, that's something I want to tell you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's a wonderful monologue, and it's nice that it's been an inspiration to a lot of people.
yep, especially to Wendy Lee, who she did a good job bringing you into it, from what
Hmm.
I observed so far. So
Yeah, it was great working with Wendy Lee. Anytime the Bebop gang can get together on other projects is always fun.
indeed, indeed. But anyway, what's your favorite part about being the voice of A or the Fourth Raikage in Naruto Shippuden?
That's it. That character is a lot of fun, and he's always going around. Where's B? Where's B? And then when he does his Liger Bomb. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. And I was glad to see him show up in Boruto, even though he was an old man at that point.
That's a fascinating thing I'm starting to hear from you. because all I know is that I'm beginning to notice that not only did you play that character, but you also did that. How do I get his name right? But oh yeah, 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 the one of the elders of the Leaf Village, which
Homura, right?
Homura, yes. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, but he's kind of a dick, because of him just being all rah, 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 being so strict on everything, which is why Debbie Mae West just stood up to you and of course Mary Elizabeth McGlenn when she's all like, you two have no idea what you have done. Donzo is manipulating you, pulling strings. All he's trying to do is not let Naruto save the world. Is this what you want? So,
Yeah, it's interesting going back and forth from Homura, whose voice was kind of like that. He did, I am Homura, and I'm going to make your life miserable. And then I go to the Fourth Raikage. Where's B? Where's B? So going back and forth in those two roles was also a lot of fun.
it's actually funny how you say that. Because today, the truth, Naruto has been my childhood back then when I was 6 years old. Never knew it was anime until 2016, right there, before I
Mm,
discovered you. And today, the truth, Naruto Shippuden and Boruto at the same time were just one franchise at the same time and on the props, actually. And and I'm glad that Mary Elizabeth McGlenn again was able to bring you in, and you did a very good job being those two characters at once.
well, thank you very much, Sibs.
It's what I do best. But anyway, what's the biggest thing when playing Leroy Smith in Tekken 8, the current one?
Oh, Leroy and his dog Sugar. Yeah, he's to use your words, he's a badass. And yeah, and his martial arts skills are unmatched. So it's always fun to voice a character who is at the top of his game.
Well, that's a very interesting thing I'm beginning to see. So far, Tengen has been going on, and you being part of the current one was the best choice. Honestly, having just bringing a lot of good stuff into the franchise is too awesome, to be honest.
No, thank you for your kind words, Sibs.
Well, it's what I do best, just showing a lot of appreciation. But anyway, this is my this is what my fan wants me to tell you. But in the show Megas XLR, how is it like playing Gurkharak the Planet Killer?
Awesome character. Awesome, awesome, awesome character.
Yes, because a fan of mine told me that Megas XLR has been his childhood, his entire life, and has been seeing you, Wendy Lee, and Steve Bloom in it, just
Mm,
bringing a lot of vibes to the show, which unfortunately got canceled a few years ago, and
yes.
it's been getting off track, due to
Mm,
the budgeting money that has been consuming companies itself,
mm.
and and that's something that's been going on my mind, which it doesn't concern me at all. All I'm focusing on is my own goals. That is all.
That's the way to focus. That's how you succeed.
Good.
Mhm.
That's what I like about you, Boo. You always understand, just like the others. But anyway, what's very awesome when you got to be in Samurai Champloo as Matsunuke, trying to get his name right, Mr. Shibu. Yes, Mr. Shibu.
It's a Shibo. That was a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a lot of the usual suspects in that show. Um, yeah, Samurai Champloo is was also a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the storylines and as well as listening to my fellow voice actors.
Hmm. Well, that's very nice to see. Yet again, it has been going on well, I've got to know about it through Adult Swim, and it's very nice that you were brought into the first episode. And
Mm.
you getting to interact with both Steve Bloom and Kirk Thornton and Kari Walgren was just a very big thing right there. When he's all like, "Hey, what are you even talking about there?" And Kirk is like, "Do you think we should take him out?" And he's like, "Gladly." And that's where you just go in and like, "Just kill them already, you bastard!"
Well played, well played. Yes, you remember that well.
Yep, I know because I've seen the episode myself and just memorized it quite well.
Okay.
But anyway, in the show, which the current one, the Seven Deadly Sins, Four Knights of Apocalypse, what's it like about playing Gother in the Elder disguise?
Well, it was kind of an insidious role, and I like to play those voice those types of characters. So that was very special for me.
Hmm, that's nice, you know, because I actually seen a lot of Seven Deadly Sins, and I've always wondered myself if Boo Billingslea is ever gonna be in that show. Until a few years later, they did it. They were able to bring you in.
Yeah, brought in old Beau.
Yep, and I'm glad that the director bring you in, and I should thank her for that.
Mm.
But last question to tell you, but what was it like being in ReZero as Velka Rome Cromwell?
Old man Rom. He was a bad mofo, running that bar and kicking butt. He might have been an old guy, but he was tough. So they couldn't find anybody to take him down.
Quite fascinating.
Yeah,
Th-
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, that's very nice to see. Because all I know is that ReZero is like a very famous isekai show that has been going on for almost like how do we say this? Since 2018. Yes, yes, yes. 2018 is when it came out and has been going on ever since. And
Hmm.
and you being part of it has been the best choice ever, you know?
Oh,
Because
well, thank you
and
very much, Sibs.
well, it's what I do, you know, and you deserve a lot of love, just like I've given to others, which in return, they do the same for me. And that's why I've wanted to connect more with others so that I can just be more social, live in society and just enjoy it itself.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good goal, and I'm glad you're on that path.
Thank you, Beau, for saying that. I'm very glad you told me this. Well, Beau, it's such an honor to finally meet you at last, Beau. And and I'm glad that I brought you into my YouTube channel for my interviews, to be more precise. And hopefully one day I'll even make a video for you when the time comes.
I look forward to it, Sibs, and I appreciate you calling me in and having this nice conversation. And I wish you a lot of luck with your career.
Oh, trust me, I will be eventually. By the time I go to California, which I will be in a few months or so, I will inform everyone, including you, of my arrival so that you and I and everybody else could meet, you know, and get to know each other well in person, just like I did for others for like since 2022. So, yeah,
Mm.
that's what I want to say. Thank you, Boo. And I'm glad I told you this, just like I've told this to the others. You are a kind man, and I hope you do something awesome, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Sibs. I appreciate that.
Of course. And I'll see you around, my friend.
See you, Space Cowboy.
I'll see you too, spaceman. Take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.